Obviously very disappointing on Saturday. I know everyone was frustrated with the result and the performance. How difficult is it for the players to pick themselves back up after a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's not easy, but the fight's there, the courage is there to go and put things right. A big week in terms of training, a team that a lot of us don't know much about. So in terms of the coaching staff, they're doing their best to get their points over to us about where we can hurt them. Simple things like your press, the way we want to play, and just really taking that into the game. I think a few weeks have gone by now where we've worked on stuff on a training pitch, and then it gets to a Saturday and we're playing a complete different way. Why is that? That's what we're trying to figure out. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to pick ourselves up, but only we can do it. So just thankful there's a game on Saturday to again go and hopefully be the week that we put things right.
Obviously the team, your teammates, the squad, they know the talent that they've got, and you know that, they all know that about you. So is it as simple as just keeping the head and having that patience, knowing it's going to show itself? Yeah,
100%. I mean, it's a very new squad at the end of the day. Takes time, as it always will. It will always take time to gel. I need to figure out their game, they need to figure out my game. That's just how it goes. You need to give that time, but ultimately it needs to be a lot better on the pitch. You can push that aside, and it's not an excuse, but that's a fact. We do need time to gel, but the simple things like work rate and what you should be doing on a football pitch aren't there at the moment. So again, I mean, it could be nerves after a few losses, a few bad results. We're a young team. Again, it's normal, but it's about now kind of puffing your chest out and really being the one to say that this needs to change.
Livingston themselves have had a good start, 3 wins, 2 draws, so they've yet to taste defeat in the division, but I suppose the way you guys will be looking at it is a great opportunity to go out there and prove how good you are and how much damage you can do to one of the strongest starters in the league. Yeah,
100%. It's a team we don't know too much about, and that can work in your favour sometimes. But no, listen, the coaching staff are getting their point across to us this week. It's a big week in terms of getting the message across about how they're going to press, how they're going to play, and vice versa. And we just need to really make sure that we're taking that on board and delivering it into our performance on the weekend.
That sort of sense of the unknown, a team that we've not played against, like last season, there's so many that are still here from that season that we kind of know their style. Does that make it that wee bit exciting that you've got something different to test yourself against?
Yeah, I think it's just that the unfamiliar side of things. Someone like me, who a few of the other boys as well, has played in this division. Not a lot of teams have really chopped and changed as much as we have in terms of players and recruitment. So yeah, you know what you're coming up against. This weekend is different, a team that's come down and will be looking to go back up. And there's just that unfamiliar faces really. But yeah, listen, we'll do our research. We'll find the boys that we feel can hurt us, and we'll look to shut them down in the areas of the pitch that need to be shut down.
Rhys is always keen as well to try and get focus onto what we're able to do, the kind of damage we can do sides. Is it a case of just having to rediscover that, because it's probably the side of us that we've really been weakest at the last couple of weeks, is creating opportunities? Yeah,
100%. I think it goes back to just that gel of the team. A lot of new faces, and I mean, don't get me wrong, the change room is brilliant. We're all so close. It's a great atmosphere we've built in there, but now it's about taking that onto the pitch, building that chemistry. So yeah, I'd say it's something I wouldn't say rediscover in terms of we've done it at the beginning of the season. Everything we worked on the training pitch we were taking into the game. So it's just about as simple as doing it again. We're all more than capable. We don't need to work on the simple stuff. It's just about having the confidence to go and do it.
You know your teammates better than we do, so is there plenty of fire in the belly amongst the rest of them to go out and put some things right on Saturday?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not nice. You know, being in the position we're in, it's very early in the season, and this league, anyone beats anyone. But being bottom of the league, it's not nice, and we know what we're capable of, and we know that we shouldn't be where we are on the table. But it only takes 1 or 2 results to flip things, and hopefully in a few weeks' time we're looking back at this and overcome it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mason. We'll see you on Saturday. Thank you.
Perfecto.
Rhys, just before we move on and look ahead to Livingston, any further reflections on the performance and result on Saturday?
No, we were disappointed. I think, emotion aside, looking back at it from a kind of different standpoint, players know, we know collectively that yes, the result's poor, but the performance was equally as poor, and loads of things that we're not happy with, and that we're looking to obviously address. And like I say, no better way than to go to another kind of difficult away game and trying to do it there.
We spoke to Mason Hancock and referred to it as an opportunity to go and show against a team that have yet to lose in the division that this team have plenty about them and can have a good result and good performance against any team in the league. So is that kind of how you see it? Aye,
listen, there's no, just because, listen, before the season kind of started they would be one of the favourites, given the fact that they've come down, they've got probably good experience from a good level, and they'll be hurting as well, looking to kind of bounce back. But anybody can beat anyone in the league. It's very, very tight, so we don't look at it as in there's a team we're coming up against who are going to be far superior or inferior to us. So it's important that we just go, we make sure that, like we say, we rectify mistakes, which has obviously been the common theme just now, is that it's the performance levels that I've not been happy with. It's the results, of course, come with that, and listen, results are of course what drive the business, but I'm always a big believer and always stress the point that it's the performance levels for me. We get that bit right, then the results take care of themselves. And I think probably the last two games, even looking at Falkirk, they were better than us, and I can openly say that on the day and stuff they were better than us. I think even the performance at Celtic the other day there, they were kind of well in the game. Probably one of the few teams that have went to Celtic and give them kind of trouble. So you've got to give them credit when it's due. But likewise, from our side, it's about making sure that we don't sulk and we don't have a mentality where we feel sorry for ourselves, everything's doom and gloom. You know, we've got to make sure that we sort it. The only way you do that is by making sure, especially when the kind of going's getting tough and things are a little bit kind of harder at the moment, whether it be through injuries, performance levels, individual performance levels, team performances, is that you give that extra 5% if you can give it in training, and you really, really work, you get your head down, you knuckle down, you listen, and you try and be a good teammate. To do that, listen, it's not going to last forever. Of course you're going to bounce back, but you've got to make sure that you drive that rather than a case of waiting for that to happen.
I suppose that's maybe the trick of coaching and management. Is obviously not something I know anything about, but from your perspective, is it a trick about trying to find ways to put that fire in the player's belly but also the kind of smile on their face, or do they need to find that within themselves?
A bit of both. And listen, there's times where I maybe need to prod and I need to put an arm around certain individuals and recognise where he's at in terms of confidence. That's playing a factor just now. You can see there's a few boys lacking in confidence, so I've got to make sure that I don't overstep the mark, but also make sure that I'm not kind of mollycoddling people, and identifying that when things aren't going well and I'm not happy with certain things that I see, that they understand. But listen, you can do that in a constructive way. It doesn't always have to be hairdryer treatment, and vice versa. It doesn't always have to be kind of hairy-fairy and nicey. It's about picking your balance, and that's one thing that I try and work on a weekly basis, by doing that. And like I said, we try certain approaches, and certain games where we've maybe been really, really poor, we've come in at half time or whatever and we've got a good response. And there's been games where we've played really well, we're leading at half time, or we've started the game really well and I've come in and hammered the boys at half time because I know the standards. So it's about probably just gauging that. But it's easy to kick someone when they're down just now, and you can see that the confidence is obviously a little bit lower than normal, given the results and whatnot, which is totally understandable. So it's not about me coming in and kind of kicking the boys when they're down. They look to me as a coach and a manager, and they're looking for that wee bit of guidance, wee bit of inspiration, and wee bit of something, hope and stuff that they can kind of get behind. If I'm not going to show that for the side, then what's the point in being here? So it's important that I'm kind of strong and I'm confident in everything that I'm doing, and passing on that message so that boys can get something behind me.
What do you expect from Livingston then? You touched on it yourself that they'll be maybe hurting having come down and determined to get back up, and the last few seasons the team that has come down has gone back up again, so a tough game ahead. Absolutely.
Played there as well. The pitch is obviously very similar to Rhys in terms of an older AstroTurf. so it probably suits them. They're used to it and stuff, as well as obviously them having a bit of experience, like you said, on a bit of a confidence run. I think is it only them and Falkirk Ayr as well that have kind of went undefeated so far. So for as much as we're maybe known a great run of confidence and momentum, it's something that can change very, very quickly in football. You know, a goal, a result and a performance which the group's more than capable of. So it's going to be a tough game. We're not going to go into the game expecting that we're just going to turn up, or we're going to turn up and do this and we're just going to win the game. Under no illusion, going to Livingston at the best of times, you ask any club or manager in seasons gone by, Davey will have them well drilled, minimum kind of 110% effort, and we know that we're going to have to be matching that, if not more, and then looking to add our little bits of quality.
They didn't play at the weekend, so having that extra rest, is that going to be relevant at all? Is that going to be a factor?
Rest as in maybe for their end, if they've got maybe injuries that allows them to get boys back into a squad or into training and stuff, then yes, a positive. But the negative side of that is they've not had a game to look and look at, and obviously if they win that game, you can always say, oh, it was great that we had the game. So it depends how you look at it. Like I said, I don't really look at that too much. For our standpoint, when we're watching kind of video and analysis stuff back, you've not got something as recent as last week that you can go and kind of look towards. So like I say, a bit of both. We're trying to do our bits of analysis and vice versa, but listen, regardless, analysis and stuff almost goes out the window, because you're going into a tough environment, fully expected a tough game, and regardless, either side will have to rely on that win.
Injury issues then amongst the squad, what's the kind of fitness levels like on the players that came through on Saturday and the ones that were missing out?
Again, probably the same scenario that I say is every week. It's a frustrating one, because I speak to you guys maybe on a Tuesday and everything's great and hunky-dory, and before you know it, the Thursday there's been an issue, or there's been a not kind of setback. Before you know it, it's 3 weeks, it's 4 weeks time frame wise. So I'd love to give you an update daily in terms of what that's like, and but it's not the case. Frustrated because, like you say, it's hard to build relationships, get a consistent kind of back four, goalkeeper, midfield, when every week you've got a member of your midfield, defence, striker, you've got some personnel missing, you're having to kind of chop and change every single week, which gives a wee bit of disruption to the flow and the continuity. So it is difficult, but again, what can we do about it? You know, it's football, you've just got to kind of get on with it. I'm no one that's going to sit and sulk and make excuses, oh, we've got injuries and stuff. It's part of football, you know, everybody signed up for that and we wanted to become a footballer, so it's about maybe dealing with the circumstances just now as best we can, and then, like we said, hopefully when we've got a few boys closer to being on the mend, then we're in a much stronger position to play a certain way and to play kind of personnel wise, change things throughout a game. You've got that luxury, but in terms of individuals, Tyrell, Adjaman obviously missed out. Luke, Badley Morgan missed out as well. He'd had a kind of strain in his calf. Luke, Tyrell had a strain in his ligament in his knee, which again we need to look at their parent clubs. They're their players, so we've got to make contact with them, see what they're kind of wanting to do, get them assessed, kind of take it from there. They might go back down the road for their treatment, or they might be quite happy for them to have their treatment and stuff up here. So these are kind of ongoing conversations, and ones that unfortunately gives us 2 less players for the weekend, which frustrating, but nothing we can do about it. In terms of boys coming back, thinking off the top of my head, myself, the only one there is just obviously my calf one, just can't seem to get it right at the minute. Trying my utmost in terms of training and staying behind. I'm doing all my rehab as best I can, as well as juggling kind of the managing and the coaching side as well. But it's one of the things that there's nothing I can do about it, so I've just got to make sure that if I can't be an influence on the pitch, I've got to try and be an influence off the pitch. So it's football.
And that, you touched on it before, but those are the things you can control. What you and the players can control is their own performance levels, the tactics they approach and all that. So I guess that's where your focus has to be, because you can't magic up a return to fitness on a player.
No, I'd love to, and like I say, it's not been through lack of effort. The last couple of weeks I feel like I've just been kind of getting back to a stage where I'm possibly going to be training the Monday and back into some kind of training, and then I've had a setback and it's not quite right, and I don't know if there's an underlying issue or it's just been maybe coming back too soon because I've been eager to get back fit. It's maybe a bit of both, but I would rather do that and want to get back kind of playing and being involved as best I can, because it's frustrating sitting for me at the side, wanting to help, wanting to contribute, and especially when kind of confidence and performances have been kind of low at the moment. I'd love to go out and be able to contribute, whether that's on the pitch or off the pitch, but feeling like you've got your kind of hands tied behind your back at the moment's tough. But like you said, I've got to then find another way. How do I pass on my experience, my knowledge, from a coach's standpoint and a manager's standpoint, and the best way to do that is obviously being about and daily on the training pitch, making sure that the boys know that I'm behind them, the message is driven from me and the staff, and that they can just follow suit.
Brilliant, Rhys. We'll see you on Saturday.
Cheers.
Thank you.